There is a lot on that illiberal left that absolutely condescend, patronize, and are arrogant towards that other 50%.
I've reached a point where I've seen almost everything, and there's not much that still makes my jaw drop, that leaves me gobsmacked and awestruck at the stupidity and the corruption of the human race. But one thing is the complete insularity of our elites, the clerisy, the people who set the opinions, the chattering classes, the fact that they can't understand that there are two sides to a story, and when you only tell one, you alienate the other side. That's why I was kind of shocked to see Matthew McConaughey, who has been making some very red pill statements of late, trying to explain to Russel Brand that the things that the right is saying now about the election being rigged are no different than the things that the left was saying about Russia and Trump being a Russian asset and colluding, and that the judgment of whether one of these is true and the other not true, or both false or both true, has to be done by gathering the facts. So here is McConaughey's statement when basically he hears Brand attacking right-wingers.
There is a lot on that illiberal left that absolutely condescend, patronize, and are arrogant towards that other 50%. Many people were I'm sure you saw it in our industry when Trump was voted in 4 years ago. They were in denial that it was real. And some of them were in absolute denial. And even now, we're going to see if we can stabilize coming out of, looks like Biden's our guy. Well, now you got the right that's in denial because they're saying it's fake news. And I understand they've been fed fake news. No one knows who the hell to believe, right? So they're putting down their last bastion of defense. This is where the left misses it for me, just as far as being a marketeer of a political side. When you say, hey, we want to get out the vote, we want people to be able to go vote. We're going to do a campaign to let people vote. I'm like, 100%. Yes, everyone. Is there anyone who would say no to that? That's universal. You have 100% of the audience going, I'm in. That's a constitutional right as an American. I'm in, yes. And then they can't help themselves. At the very end of it, they go, so we don't let those criminal get backing off. And you're going, whoa. You're like, no, don't say the last part. You lost 50% of your audience. And that's, part of why so much of the nation of that 50% looks at us in Hollywood as like going, oh, yeah, another celebrity over there on the West Coasters and the elite in the Northeast. And that's what y'all say. Because even from just a sales point of view, don't tab that gotcha on the end, and then you have your audience is twice as big, and you're getting what you want. Even you're getting twice as much as you're getting two times as much as you would if you just didn't tab on that little stick it to them at the end.
And this is true of every movie that comes out. It has what John Nolte over at Breitbart calls the sucker punch, where in the middle of some movie about spies and shooting and running down, suddenly they'll tell you that Republicans are all terrible people, and they lose half their audience. And then they wonder, why we don't show up. It's an amazing, amazing effect of this sequestration of the elites, this seclusion of the elites so that they're only talking to themselves. And it's the kind of thing that we've seen happen before. And it usually ends up with a lot of people with torches and guillotines showing up outside your palace because you weren't listening to them in the first place. Why is Matthew McConaughey so alone in understanding what everybody should understand, that if we're going to have a country together, we're going to have to speak to each other? It is that basic, that simple. And this fog of disinformation that has come up from a one-sided media, a leftist, corporate, globalist media, this fog of disinformation they've sent out has ultimately, it hurts them because it means that we won't believe them and we'll end up believing what our media tells us, which is not the right thing either. We need a media that speaks to us all. We need a media that plays fair on both sides. We need a meta media that understands that the news is a meta business that is above politics. It is not in service to politics. Good for Matthew McConaughey. We need a lot more celebrities saying that, and then we'd start paying attention to Hollywood a little bit more.